Welcome to another episode of The Juniors on Advocates, the podcast. This time, we're very lucky to have Gregory Das, a partner with Stephen Tiru and Sudha Partnership in Kuala Lumpur. Greg was called to the Inner Temple in the UK and then to the Malaysian Bar in 2012. So he's 10 years in practice at the moment. And he does, of course, dispute resolution, but a wide range of work from administrative, constitutional, corporate commercial, and even employment law. Greg, welcome to Advocates, the podcast.
Hi, Gopal. Thanks for having me.
Greg, why choose advocacy?
Well, Gopal, I enjoy formulating a legal argument based on a set of facts. I enjoy whittling that argument down to its simplest form so that it is digestible to the reader and the listener. I also enjoy presenting a set of legal arguments in a well-ordered sequence, and it is perhaps the presentation aspect of advocacy, both oral and written, that I enjoy the most, because the presentation aspect of advocacy is all about appreciating what the judge expects and presenting your client's case in the best and clearest way possible, all within the rules, of course. And I find that to be both a challenge, but at the end of the day, something that is enjoyable as well.
Brilliant. Second question, the best lesson from someone leading you?
I would say testing your argument before you run it. That really means when you have conceptualized a legal argument, it is important to test it against the facts. And when you test your argument against the facts, you are seeing whether it is sustainable against the good facts and the bad facts. When you are testing it against the law, you are seeing if it holds water against the applicable case law and the statutes. And I've often found that testing your argument helps you to bring it to life. It helps you to visualize it. It also helps you to appreciate the difficult parts of your argument. And it also helps you to appreciate which are the arguments that are perhaps a bit more attractive than others.
Okay. Third question, the first substantive words you used in an argument and why?
I tend to start by explaining in not more than 2 sentences what the case is about, or perhaps what the orders are sought in an application. I then tend to move to explaining in not more than 3 sentences what is the main point of contention, main point of law in the case. Why is because if you're able to do so, you'll be able to tell the judge in less than a minute, hopefully, not only what the case is about, but what the main point of contention is.
Brilliant. When was the first time you made a witness on the other side uncomfortable?
Well, quite unexpectedly, Gopal. I think it happened when I first was given the chance to cross-examine a witness. I remember this to be a company law dispute, and we were acting for the plaintiff. And part of our client's case was that one of the defendants, I think the main, he controlled the board of directors of the subject company. And he ensured that that board was comprised of all of his friends. And the witness that I cross-examined, I think he was perhaps a less important witness compared to the others. He was one of the members of the board. And during the course of cross-examination, quite unwittingly, he admitted to having been brought into the board by the first defendant, and also admitted to being a very close friend of the first defendant. Now, that response shocked both of us because I wasn't expecting it so easily. But I remember the witness, looking fairly anxious after giving that response, right, adjusting himself in the chair and all of that. So, yeah.
Okay, 10 years from now, where do you want to be?
Well, I hope to have a practice that is a little bit more focused on hearings and appeals, as opposed to trials. And I also hope to have a practice that is focused on the areas of law that I am particularly interested in. I've always been interested in having a bit of a specialized practice, if possible.
Okay. And at the moment, though, trials or hearings, which do you prefer and why?
Yeah, I very much prefer hearings, Gopal, because I've always preferred the academic aspect of law when tested against a real-life dispute. And I also prefer the fact that in hearings, the parameters of the proceedings are a bit more defined as compared to in trials.
Okay. Now, people behind you on the road, 3 pieces of advice quickly.
Sure. First is to write and speak in short and simple sentences. Judicial time is at an all-time premium today. The faster you convey your idea and the more clear it is, the higher chance it will be well received. Second is do not underestimate the importance of having a good command of language. To me, language is perhaps the most potent weapon of the advocate. If used effectively, it is oftentimes more than half the battle won. Thirdly, and this is for lawyer juniors in private practice, don't have as your main aim meeting your financial targets to get a good bonus. I mean, that is also obviously very important. That's the reality of it in private practice. But have as your main aim trying to have as much depth in your work as possible. Try to, when you're conducting a piece of research, appreciate the finer aspects of the research you're conducting, and also try to take some time to learn the art of advocacy. Depth matters as a junior.
Okay. What's the worst thing, one thing, about being a junior at the bar?
Lack of airtime in court, Gopal.
Yeah. Okay. You're not the first one to have said that.
Yes.
And let me then ask you this, Greg. I mean, you're obviously committed. You see a path for yourself going forward in practice. But what would make you leave practice?
Now, I think after having conducted a piece of advocacy, trial or hearing, and I found it to be a chore, I think that to me would be the clearest sign that I should perhaps move.
Right. Okay. Now, this is a sort of sartorial question. Do you wear cufflinks?
I don't, Gopal, no.
Okay, so all buttons on your shirts?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Now I'll tell you about that, why we're asking that question. The second question I have for you in that regard is, do you use fountain pens?
No, I don't, Gopal. I'm a huge fan of the Faber-Castell 0.5 black and blue and red pens.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Listen, Greg, thank you so much for spending your time with us. We're just coming down to that 7 minutes. That was Gregory Das from Stephen Tiru and Sudha Partnership here in Kuala Lumpur. Thanks again, Greg.
My pleasure. Thank you.